Hi, this is Linda, and I'm continuing my series on explaining American English. I did one mini-series on pronunciation of 6 lessons. Now I'm starting the second series called Building American English Sentences. How do you put words together in the uniquely English way? And the first lesson was on these 4 foundations for a sentence. The first thing I want to do is talk about just nouns. They can be subject nouns or predicate nouns, or they can be in a phrase sometimes. But I want you to know a few things about nouns, because when we start adding to the nouns, which is the more critical part, it is important that you know these facts about nouns. For one thing, we have 4 kinds of nouns that we classify. We classify them this and this, or this and this. Common means it's one of many, and it's not that special. Boy, woman, there are many of those, and I'm not pointing out which one yet. And if it's singular, these almost always have to have an introductory word, and we'll talk about those later. But proper nouns don't need introductory words because they're already special. Bill is someone's name. One person's name is Bill. It's capitalized. Canada, that's a country, not one of many countries named Canada, but there's only one Canada. So it's capitalized, and it's a proper noun. We have common nouns and proper nouns. We also divide nouns up into these 2 groups. Concrete, which means you can taste it, touch it, smell it. You could, any of your 5 senses, you can tell that it's real. Then we have abstract nouns, which you can't actually see or touch, but they're still real. In our minds, they're still real. Love is an abstract noun. A rock is a concrete noun. And how we use these in a sentence and attach words to them is important based on which ones of these a word is. So, another thing about nouns is we don't change the spelling in English of a noun, whether it's here or after a preposition somewhere else, except to go from singular to plural, or to make it possessive, like the girl's hat. It belongs to her. We have an apostrophe S added thing. That's a spelling change. Other than that, we only make singulars and plurals out of our nouns. So nouns can be singular or plural, such as book. To make it plural, we add an S. Most nouns do that. I have a book. You have 2 books. And I'm going to try to read them in a way that will help you see that they flow together, the words flow together, so that we don't have us in there that we don't need, and we don't put a little special sound in front of them. But if we need to, like here, we might have to do a stop. It's not an actual sound, it's just a stop. I have a book, you have 2 books. Some words end in an E, and then we have an S. It looks like this, but it's not the same. It's just the word with an S. It's the same as this. This cake is sweet. Those cakes aren't. But if it ends with a sound that is very much like an S, then we have to add ES. Now, this wasn't an added E. It was part of the word. This is an added ES. Bush becomes bushes. Watch, like this, becomes watches. Dress becomes dresses. Box, boxes. We add ES to these words because it ends with something that is too much like an S sound. When a word ends in a Y, and some of you already know this, but I need to go over it for everyone, and then we'll get into the harder parts soon. When a word ends in a Y, if it has a vowel in front of it, we do it just like the others, like this one and this one, we just add an S. However, if it ends in a consonant Y, we change the Y to an I, and add es. So 2 places we add es. Copy, copies. I need 1 copy, not 2 copies. I'm going to break right there. I need 1 copy, not 2 copies. That not stop lets me know there are T's there. There are some words that do not change the spelling at all. Sheep, 1, sheep, many. Deer, 1, deer, many. It doesn't matter. The spelling is the same. This sheep is black. I try to get that S and the SH together. This sheep is black. Those sheep are white. This deer is fast. Those deer are slow. We have a few words like that don't change the spelling because we're just thinking of a group of them and we're not going to count them usually. So we just leave it the same on just a few words. There are common words that over the years we have made changes to without just adding an S. It's only these common words that we play around with. And we've done that over the years with these words. Child becomes children. This child plays with other children. Man becomes men. That man is following those men. Just change the middle letter and it makes it plural. Woman, when you write it, it looks like woman. And that is the way we write it to make it plural, but it's not the way we pronounce it. Woman becomes women. This woman talks with those women. We say women. Over time, we decided, evidently, that these two sounded too much alike, and we don't know which one you said. Woman, woman, which it sounds the same. So to make it different, we started changing the sound of this O to match this. So it's woman, 1, women, 2. Spelling didn't change, pronunciation changed. Also, some words like mouse, we changed to a new spelling, mice. I saw a mouse. 3 mice ran away. And we did that with a few other common words. Foot became feet. My foot hurts. Her feet are small. And with tooth and teeth, my tooth hurts. My teeth are clean. There are a few words we took from other languages and used the other language's rules. We didn't use these rules. We used them from the language they came from. Datum is 1 fact or 1 bit of information. Data is more than 1. Many times we say data is. It should be data are, but since we put it together so much, we've started to think of it as one thing. It's just information. So data is, you will hear, although technically it should be data are, because data is the plural of datum. Octopus became octopi because that's the way it was made plural in the language it came from. We don't say octopuses, we say octopi, more than 1. I didn't keep making sentences because it takes too long to do that. Piano, if it ends in an O, sometimes we just add an S. Piano, pianos. Sometimes when it ends in an O, we add ES. Potato, potatoes. Tomato, tomatoes. There are many words that end in an O, consonant O, and sometimes we use an S, sometimes an ES. With the word wolf, it ends in an F, but we want to add the S sound, so we're going to change that F to a V because we've got vibrating. F doesn't vibrate. S vibrates. So it's easier just to keep vibrating. So it became wolves instead of wolves. Wolves, elf became elves, and half became halves. I have half of an orange, or I have an orange, I cut it in half, I have 2 halves. We say it with a V when we make it plural instead of with the original F. Those are ways that we make words plural. Now that we know that about nouns, let's start adding words to them. Here is one that we've heard many times, a or an in front of a singular word, and it means one. The can be before a singular or a plural, it doesn't matter, but it's saying it's special in some way. A cat ran. A cat ran by the window. I don't know which cat, and I don't care which cat. It was just a cat, general. But if it's a special cat, the cat I've been looking for, the cat that I've been paying attention to, the cat ran. This is a special cat. This was not a special cat. A cat ran, the cat ran. We use an if it's a vowel. An apple fell. There are 5 apples on the table. 1 rolled off. So I would say an apple fell. But there is only 1 apple on the table. That's it, just 1. That apple falls off. The apple fell. I have to say an because of vowel, and I have to say the because of the vowel. A car crashed. It was a car. Which car doesn't matter. But if I say the car crashed, I probably was looking at the car. I'm thinking about that car, and it crashed. So this makes it more special. This, that, these, and those are very similar to these. They're not very informative. They don't tell us much, but they tell us a little bit. This train is fast. Here it is, right there. It's close to me, so I say this train. It's only 1 train. This train is fast. That train is way over there, slow. That train is slow. It's far away. This train, up close, is fast. These trees, here's a tree, here's a tree, here's a tree. It's close to me. These trees are tall. Those trees over there, far away, those trees are short. These, more than 1. Those, more than 1. Near, far. 1 train, 1 train. Close, far away. So this tells us a little bit more than these, and this is a little more specific than that. But they don't tell us much. They're just introductory words. They introduce nouns. Numbers can introduce nouns. Just like I said, a or an actually means 1. We can also use a number, 7, 9, 12. And we can use words that suggest a number but not very specific. Some, any, many, most, several, few, a number of, quite a few. Those introduce a noun and suggest a number or are a number. Here are some sentences that use several of those, and it can also be pronunciation practice if you read it with me. 5 kites. I don't want to say 5 kites. I want to say 5 kites flew high in the sky. Try to run it together unless you need to break it for a T or something similar to a T. 1 TV station reported the event. Now, reported because that ends with a T. E, so we have the. 1 TV station reported the event. Every kite flew east. Every kite flew east. Some kites were red. I try to get it together. Kites were red. Some kites were red. Many kites were blue. A few kites were yellow. Several kites crashed. All kites were pretty. There's that word again. Any wind was helpful. Quite a few kids were there. A number of parents took pictures. I have to break pretty much for that K. Parents took, I don't have to break. Took pictures, I need to break. Most people had fun. I'm going to break for the T because it's hard to go from a T to a P. Most people had fun. So we introduce words, nouns rather, with words like that. Sometimes we don't need those words. For abstract or uncountable nouns and for many proper nouns, an introductory word is not often needed, but the is sometimes used. Some examples: air, land, water. Often we don't need anything in front of them. Air is everywhere. It's very general, air. But if I'm talking about a particular air, I would say the air is cool because right here in the room, the air is cool. Outside, it's not. So I'm talking about a special air. The air is cool. Land here is expensive. All the land is expensive. So I could just say land here is expensive. But if I'm talking about one particular area of land where I'm going to grow corn, for instance, I'm going to grow a crop, I want it to be good land, fertile, so that it will grow crops. The land is fertile. Water is plentiful. Water is everywhere. But if I'm talking about water in a container or a small area, whether it's a lake or a sink or a glass, the water is cool. If I'm talking about that specific body of water, I would say the water is cool. But I wouldn't say a water. Put that in there somewhere. I wouldn't say that a water. But I could say the water. If we just take a part of that big word in phrases like this, it also needs to be introduced. A puff of air. P. An acre of land. That's a measurement. Sort of like a square mile. It's not that big, but an acre of land. A drop of water. One drop. And I could say the sometimes, but I wouldn't say an air because I'm not counting air. A dirt. I don't count dirt. A water. So I don't use a. Love is good. Love is an abstract noun, and it usually does not need an introduction. However, if I'm only talking about one kind of love, I could say the love of a mother for her child is beautiful. I took the general word love and made it specific, the love of a mother. Then I would use the, otherwise love doesn't need it. Greed is selfish. I want it all. Greed itself, general greed, is selfish. Hope is strong. Hope in general is strong. I could talk about a particular hope, like the hope of a couple for a baby, then I'm talking about a specific hope. Otherwise, it's just hope. Africa is large. That's a proper noun. Doesn't need an introduction. It's already special. It has a capital letter. Mary is my friend. She's already special. I've got a capital letter. That's all I need. Okay. Now that we've got those words done, let's look at adding adjectives. Here is a heart. I'm going to tell you how many and what color. I have to tell it to you in this order. Number is 1, color is red. What it is, heart. This is the noun. One red heart. One red heart. Has to be that way. We don't say one heart red, or heart one red. It has to be number, color, object. One red heart. Here are some more examples for all the other numbers. 2 yellow suns, 3 white stars, 4 orange circles. We're going to get into some vocabulary words for shapes. 5 brown ovals. 6 pink triangles, 3 sides, 6 pink triangles. 7 blue squares. 8 green pentagons. That means it has 5 sides. Penta means 5. 9 black hexagons. Hexagon, this means 6. They have 6 sides. 9 black hexagons. 10 purple octagons. Octo means 8. These have 8 sides. 10 purple octagons. Now, these are one word at a time. Adjectives. Number is an adjective. It's an introductory word too. Pink is an adjective, and it's just one word. But let's get into what happens if the adjective is more than one word. Now I have up here word adjectives. That's that. We have word adjectives like pink. Phrase adjectives and clause adjectives are used in a different position, usually. Sometimes we have a one-word adjective besides the number and the color. 1 pretty red heart. 2 bright yellow suns. 3 sparkling white stars. It's going to go between the number and the color. 4 round orange circles. 5 unusual brown ovals. 6 lovely pink triangles. 7 unusual blue squares. 8 interesting green pentagons. 9 mysterious black hexagons. 10 beautiful purple octagons. If it's that adjective, one word, it goes in these places. What if it's a phrase or a clause? A phrase is one adjective. It can be other things, but when it is an adjective, the whole phrase is one adjective, but it's more than one word to make it. It's not going to go in the place over here. It's going to go after the noun. For instance, 1 red heart on top. It's at the top of the list. 2 yellow suns in the sky. 3 white stars in the picture. 4 orange circles on the plate. 5 brown ovals on the dish. Sorry, come apart. 6 pink triangles in the painting. 7 blue squares in the design. 8 green pentagons in a circle. 9 black hexagons in a line. 10 purple octagons on the back of the book. That was 2 on the back of the book. 2 prepositional phrases, but they come after the noun. So phrases and clauses go usually after the noun. Single word adjectives go before the noun. And if a number and a color are included in the one word adjective, it goes here, not there. 6 lovely pink triangles. It goes right after the number. And then pink triangle stays together. Okay, I'm not going to do the idiom or the culture tip because it's too long, but I'll see you next time with another, we'll do pronouns next. Thanks.